Thank you guys for joining another Cobra live stream. I'm Simon Says, and I'm here with the technical analysis for today. We haven't done much technical analysis streams this week. We've been active in the Discord, so be sure to tap into our YAT, which you'll find. We'll just show you the YAT, the Discord. You can go to links and important info. And this is where you're gonna see all the useful, Cobra links, where you're able to stay tapped in with us, see, our every fundamental update. Could somebody mute the mic as well? I think there's a little bit of echo. But yeah, we have a Cobra Discord, Cobra YouTube, Cobra Twitter, Medium, and Twitch. So we're live on Twitch and our Cobra website. So let's get straight into Bitcoin. We're trading at 30K again, right back at our peg. And this is yesterday's price action, right? I wanted to point out yesterday's price action just to show you guys why we had this move. Even 2 days ago. So the start of this week's price action. So when we came down, right, we can see here that if we were to look at this structure, what would we say we're making, right? If we're just looking here, we're making higher lows, right? None of the lows are breaking. That's why this ascending trend line is so important. And look at this red, ascending trend line. Notice how when we broke below it, vast volume, right? Vast volume, much volume. So we know this red trend line was a cutting trend line and, a very steep support. But what we're looking for, even more confluence with the shorts is, this more, like diagonal trend line shows, more support and resistance. But so regardless, now let's back it out to like a 3-hour time frame. Okay. So we're looking at the same area, right? This is the same area we're making the higher lows. And we see this red cutting trend line. I've removed the top resistance because it's pretty much, doesn't really matter. We see that we hit the top. Resistance isn't really much of a big deal right now. So we see the resistance like that, a little bit of a wedge. We see when we hit the wedge support, we were testing the wedge quite hard. Look at this on a 3-hour time frame. Remember those two 15-minute candles or 4 15-minute candles we were dipped below, came right back up and started holding it. Look at the the little wedge come in, and then we hit resistance right here. These two red lines. If you pretty much would have drag this across, so boom, if we dragged it across, we would have seen that, this was kind of like the last high, this doji candle that came right here, the open of this big engulfing black candle was our resistance area. We weren't able to make a high above there. What we did was, we broke the red trend line, remember, once more, quick dip to our support, open up the area or the limit orders in this area, maybe be in for a quick buy, quick, support bounce, what Bitcoin does. And notice this, descending kind of symmetrical support that comes into the pinch. We fall from the wedge. We don't break support for, another 6 hours, right? We got bought up. So on this 9-hour candle mark, we were making highs, can't make any price action highs, can't close above, this high on the price action. We also see, what do we see? On the RSI, we see this left shoulder is cleaner on the 2-hour, so I'm gonna just do it on the 3-hour. We'll go to the 2-hour. We see, the kind of left shoulder head and the right shoulder come in on the 55. Let's go to the 2-hour. So you have to be looking at all time frames. We have the left shoulder breaking the 60 RSI barely, actually not barely, right on the head, right? So barely there. Shoulder, right shoulder didn't go oversold, just a peak. And then we have the right shoulder come in below the 60 RSI. But notice how this high right here, right? Notice the price action, notice the RSI. On the RSI, we're kind of above, I'm sorry. Let me just put one more dot right there. Notice how, this high, the doji on the 3 hour, on the 2 hour was still a doji, got engulfed, right? And then this one, but notice how this peak from here is, going down to this low, and then, the RSI is kind of doing the same thing. It's just a divergence. You can see that the 60 RSI held here strong, and then we kind of hit that double top, and then just proceeded to, break the trend line. Notice how when we came down here, if we go down to the hourly chart, we're looking for, the support bounce. Notice how we have that 4 candle, theory that I'm testing right now. When you have 4 candles, any time frame, the higher the time frame, the stronger the structure. So when we have this 4-hour candle block, we break out, consolidation for 4 hours, even closes, wick to up and downside, not really upside. So next candle we break out, test the support once, one support as a resistance, we come below. This is what I call a fake out and a breakout. So we faked out to the upside, faked out for another time, and then we broke below the zone, started trading below. Notice we broke the wicks as well, but we didn't break this wick over here, right? So this low wick held us. So it's all about, our next low till you break this area. It's a pinch until we break this high. So this is, the chart from yesterday. I have an updated chart on why I took a short in this region. But quite simply, what we see here is, a divergence. Couldn't go oversold in the hour. Boom. Top right there. Top right here. The price action isn't at that top. So therefore, we went short. Now, the 60 RSI, how we look for it as a resistance, now that it's above it as a resistance, and test as support. So will we have a support here and have to make a double top? The double top, maybe, testing this area up here in the price action, and then we get to take another short. That's something we have to work on, but entries are everything. Risk is everything. When I took my short from here, even though the market is super volatile right now, right? So we don't get the tightest stops. My stop loss was only about 36.50. So about a % risk. And let's see. Now I'm one for one. My risk to reward is already covered. This is a time where you've already been right in the immediate short term. Remove the risk from the trade. We know this wick could hold, and we could just test the highs as soon as it comes. If you have enough on this trade, or you're risking more, you're able to scale out on these little dips. So even this 1% move, 10% leverage, if this is my whole account, and I'm up, 10%. Taking 10% of my trade is taking 1%. These hedge funds, they only need 1% a day because they're trading with $1 million. $1 million, 1% of that is what? I think it's 100K.
10K.
10K, right?
So no, 100K. You're right. It is 10K.
10K, yeah. So you feel me? 10K a day isn't a bad move, and this market's all about just the percentages. So don't really worry about your account size too much. Worry about the skill. So this is our older chart. What I'm looking at now is just like, we see if we extend this trend line. We're seeing like how the support is holding right now. Now that this wick to downside is coming, you could kind of move your trend line a little bit, and we still have the 3 touches, 4 touches, 5 touches. Strong trend line, strong support here, or support resistance test. Notice how this doesn't even look like a symmetrical to me. If we wanted to, this would be our new symmetrical, right? So it's not a breakout, fake out, because we didn't clear the highs. So we're still making lower highs. That's what this trend line is saying. Once we're able to flip this, we might have some more momentum. But with everything we do, this is a market. It's a wave. The market is breathing, living. The whales, they swallow up the small fish. That's what they do. Nice pump. Add in the FOMO. Add in the green numbers. Add in that greed. Let's take it back to daily. So when you're looking at this change, right? All this is saying is for the day is, we went up 4% from the market, from the daily open price. So from this bottom, we went up 4 to 5%. if we look at yesterday, like how much we dropped, you know, about 5.4%. So it's a nice, it was a nice pump. It was a nice pump, but all we did was test, you know, the close right here and the open. Well, the close of the white candle and the open of the black candle. All we did. What we did do also is we had our lowest daily close, so we made a lower low on a daily time frame. Now we're looking at even this candle to see if we could close above this candle as support. Look at how strong this zone is. Just like candle close, candle opens, straight through it, wick from the daily, resistance can close above it, flew through it this day, straight back through it. We don't stay in this zone, right? We haven't stayed in the zone for any daily period. It's only been above it or below it. And then notice how this zone is right at the 30K mark. So we've been pegged to 30K for over, you know, 7 days the last week. It's a strong psychological support and resistance right now. Yeah, so strong like psychological points do matter in the market. And you know, strong psychological points matter. Strong moving average that a lot of people and traders monitor matter, like this 600-day, 200-day, I'd say the 20-week, the 21-week SMA. The market trends and it doesn't stay, you know, around those moving averages long. But, you know, when they do come in and test it, it's definitely something to monitor. So I'm treating that the same way as I'm treating 30K. Right now we're testing as support, you know, you just hit 30K, buy wall. For the fifth, so this is why I took my entry, right? I see in the dip, we got, you know, we made some lows. We made a, you know, kind of change of character, but all I really was highlighting was, you know, we have this oversold test on the first shoulder down here. Then we have the peak. Doji came in, pretty much the bears engulfed it. I wanted to pull back into, I mean, the zone we just made, but I seen the red line. I had this red line before. And then, so the peak is right there. And then I seen, you know, on this pullback, we kind of came up to the highs, order block. I put a sell, risk managed it, 6,500 up here. Cool. And now it's just a waiting game. And, you know, I moved my stop loss after, you know, a couple of these wicks. You know, now it's a free trade. Didn't let it get to me, you know. I knew that it could pump back up one more time, but that's the way the market game is. So if we're looking at the pullback from the top of the wick to just the bottom, the small micro pullback, we see that we retraced to 618, another confirmation for me to take my short in this market. We have been retracing the 786 and even the 0.80 area a lot because it's been so volatile. But yeah, that's that. So that's Bitcoin. Let's just look at the 3 hour time. Let's go 45 minutes. Let's look at the 45 minute and just go down the watch list. So we're able to see a little bit of the different charts. So support test here, broke out of the wedge as well. There's a little falling wedge that we were trying to catch, right? As well as, I think I just updated this ascending triangle, but that ascending is more of a symmetrical now, right? So if we drew the same symmetrical, let's see. Perfect. Strong trends. So that symmetrical is there. We're going in the zone. I expect a test of this midpoint line. I had a line here as well as this very strong support resistance and maybe a retest of the wedge. Let's see how we hold support 45 RSI testing, the 60 as support in this case right here. Little doji, 1 minute left on this close. It's an engulfing candle, this bullish candle. Might still see a retracement, but let's see. This one we just made. So we had a daily wick that we pinpointed here, and that's exactly what we hit. As well, look at this pinch, same thing, wedge coming down. We also had a falling channel, right? Just an even parallel channel. Came below it previously. Notice how like 45 minutes, hella dojis breakout. Same thing, double bottom here, double bottom straight to the 40. This is what you're looking for. You're looking for a change in structure, right? Test the lows, sweep the lows, double bottom, even more support. The pullback held the 40. That's all we needed. That was it, right? Like, now we should be able to pick up on Bitcoin trades. And y'all should be able to alert me, you know, if I'm sleeping and stuff. Like, the markets don't stop moving for anybody. We have, like Crypto Boy said, the sauce. There's certain patterns and things that work. We do them until they bust, you know, until they catch on to what we're doing. To be honest, I don't think they're gonna catch on. I think this is actually goated material, and you know, this shouldn't be free. This shouldn't really be free. So you guys are getting like an amazing value right now. Taking what we can. Let's accumulate during this bear market. I want to touch on the bear market. We have been in a bear market for about 6 months, right? I'll say we're in a bear market since here, right? Had a nice pullback. Let's measure that pullback. Pullback to 382. Wow. That's when a strong level when, you know, you have a continuation in trend. You'll pull back to 382. Sometimes you don't need to go to that 618 if it's so strong. So nice little 382 correction right there. And then we put in the next leg. On the other side, let's look at, you know, long-term crypto is bullish. Long-term we are bullish. So let's look at the last time we're at 9K as our base. Just because I really doubt we're seeing those COVID lows again, right? So 9K was our base before takeoff. And let's just draw the fib from there. So the plan is, right, we're trying to buy at the best possible time. And to be honest, we're not trying to buy altcoins right now. Like, ETH to Bitcoin dominance has broken. So altcoins are, you know, losing a lot more value than Bitcoin. So we want to long Bitcoin. And we don't even really want to be long the alts right now. Look, 4% move on Bitcoin, 5%, 4% on LRC, 4% on ETH, like around the same gains. So if they're gaining around the same, Bitcoin requires more market cap to get those gains. So money is flowing into Bitcoin on the longs, not into altcoins right now. Okay, weekly, this is little, let me just clean it real quick. So from 9K, we're coming into like, we broke the 618, have a big zone here. Could be looking at that 22K area everyone's talking about, right? Just to tap this 786, and really where our limit order should be, right here on this mitigation of this candle. All these candles mitigation. This has structure because this was up to last all-time high. I got it. We got the playbook. Leave if you want to. It's on YouTube. You guys can, you know, watch it back. People are busy, you know, but this information is valuable, right? This candle hasn't been mitigated. It hasn't hit a 50% retracement. So this is where I'll be placing my limit order. Because we don't need a long time down here, just a little wick, maybe the 21. Anyone 223, man? 223. Just a wick and then going sideways. Bitcoin, like holding the support of the zone, will be big. And then we could continue up, right? We might just have, you know, a nice little pump, range sideways, dip down, hold the low, accumulation, right? See the highs come in, drop low, accumulation until we finally break out of a trend line that will be like this. Maybe not that one. This is on a weekly time frame, remember, so like by the time we get to January next year, December, if we're holding this zone still, we're getting out, we could almost expect pretty much a big fly through, like a lot of volume to take us over this high, and we'll just leave it here for now, you know? Could be October, could be, when are we gonna reach this trend line? Like, for us to have a V-shaped recovery right now, we would have to go, you know, sideways here and then straight up. I don't really like that, right? That's a triple top area. I'd much rather us go sideways, accumulate, this be a running flat in the Elliott wave theory, or Wyckoff, I forget. And us, you know, just like get back above it. So let's get off Bitcoin. We pretty much had Bitcoin for dinner. That's pretty much, we know where we are on Bitcoin. Let's just confirm our analysis with the total crypto market cap. So this was really, 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 really crazy. Like, wish I didn't delete these lines, but we had a smaller symmetrical triangle like this. Something like that. And now you see why we retested there, right? So when we had this symmetrical triangle, it was actually intersecting. It was a little shorter, so we read the pattern a little bit too early. Probably like, something like that. It doesn't matter. It's the same thing. It's market structure, right? We ended up taking that low and we hit the zone. That's the main key. Once we broke, you know, this ascending trend line, like what we do with all, you know, kind of trend lines. Here we had the fake out almost. 3 hours up, came back in, tested support, double top on the RSI. So this is pretty much showing the same breakdown, except this high was there. It's showing the same breakdown from, you know, the Bitcoin kind of market cap for the Bitcoin chart. Have the double top on the RSI. We're able to look at where this high is on, you know, the RSI below the 50. Notice how the peak stayed below the 60. Rejection hard, and then double top straight down. Easy. Now we're coming back, testing the 50. We got above the 50, being rejected for right now. That's the total market cap. That's where we are. Let's look on weekly. Remember this zone? That's the money zone right here. Just because the wick area fell through the wick area, now the market cap for the first time, right? Yeah, because let me make sure. So this is the run to 60K, 30K, 69K. Bear market, right? For the first time, because even here, right, when, no, that doesn't make sense to me. Hold on. So it's all about having your confirmations, and yeah, so just make it make sense. You know, you have to put 2 and 2 together when you're looking at all these different market caps. The charts look maybe a little different, but very similar. So notice price action, right, is in the wick area. And last time Bitcoin came down here, it actually wicked. You know, it wicked like this wick area, which was around 32K. Now let's go back to this price chart, you know, the total market cap. Notice how we kind of wicked the halfway point. I would like it to wick down here, but notice, you know, alts were stronger right here. In this period, alts were stronger and had a bigger run than Bitcoin. If you see that, because the total market cap held up, you know, stronger, the closes were above, you know, those weekly closes. And then notice, you know, this kind of down candle on Bitcoin came below, you know, the last candle here for the upside. So it showed the altcoins having stronger presence in the market. And then we hit, you know, resistance. And then this time on the downside, this is when we see the ETH to Bitcoin dominance really take a hit and Bitcoin take up market cap. So we're watching the money flow, right? Now let's look at this weekly support Bitcoin dominance is at, and this is the triangle that would have made us a lot of money shorting these alts, because you know these alts fell almost they fell a shit ton. Let's just say that. But so when we broke out of this is so interesting. When we're still ETH to Bitcoin is still up. ETH still had more dominance, right? ETH was still leading Bitcoin. ETH hit new, like, higher all-time highs before Bitcoin did. This is the reversal of the market. This is saying, okay, we're no longer bullish. Now when Bitcoin goes sideways, you know, the alts are going to drop harder. And then, you know, Bitcoin's going to have to lead the market. As we're seeing today, Bitcoin's up almost about the same as all the alts. DOT is a strong one to watch. We've gone over that LC DOT thing, and you know, parallel finance actually has a 75% discount right now. It's probably not going to stay that way for long, but scoop up that LC DOT. You could get a $2.50 DOT right now. I don't even know if that's possible. I feel like that's it's broken. I feel like that's broken. I don't know, guys. But LC DOT will be returning to this peg. So let's look at the 4-hour chart on this ETH to Bitcoin chart. Let's go daily first. That was weekly. Kind of a little bit too out perspective. So this is a little bit of what's been happening, right? This is 69K. For Bitcoin, this is, you know, newer, higher all-time highs for the alts. As you see, in this cycle, you know, the first time we hit 60K, alts were here. Second time Bitcoin hit 69K, you know, alts outperformed it. We hit a newer high. So that's what it is. You know, we did have higher highs over here, but that's going too far into the past. We're focused on right now. So we have the symmetrical triangle. We've been through this breakout of an ascending triangle, mainly the green lines. Retest this ascending triangle, fall back to the symmetrical, retest, fall into symmetrical, retest the support, retest the zone, breakout is symmetrical again, consolidation, breakout, fake out is symmetrical, right? So originally it wasn't a symmetrical, it was ascending. It just broke straight through the horizontal resistance. Now we add in the symmetrical line. Now that we see that there's resistance here, cutting it, we see that we're holding support there. Descending triangle in the 4-hour or the daily. This is interesting because when Bitcoin's dumping, these days right here, ETH is still performing better than Bitcoin. It was such a thing to witness, bro. Like, let's go into 3 hours and stuff. So, remember, this is still a bigger descending triangle. And notice, you know, all we had to do was zone in that fucking last high. Thank you, guys. So good, bro. Thank you for giving me this knowledge and giving me the ability to speak it. So we have this zone from the last high, and then it's just a waiting game, bro. We have this descending triangle. We see that we have the touch. We could have maybe made it closer on that wick. Had the rising wedge. I'm like, oh yeah, alts are gonna fall, baby. This is when Bitcoin's dipping, everything's dipping. Alts still had they're pumping harder than Bitcoin. I'm like, yo, what the heck is going on? Descending triangle break, symmetrical test here. I'm like, yo, test the symmetrical, bro. How do alts have so much strength? Bitcoin at this time, let's measure the date, May 9th. you see, look at this big dip. This dip comes and alts are still strong. Alts are still strong. So May 9th, right here, you know, like it tested off the symmetrical. We went sideways, and then this is the dip. This is the dip to you know, the Luna FUD. Nothing's as strong as Bitcoin. Bitcoin's the best. Bitcoin's payment system, slow network, whatever. You know, Bitcoin is the king. You give it the respect. ETH is, you know, trying to put that forefront as like, yo, we could still have, we could have a, you know, a company run this and it could still be DeFi. Like, you know, Bitcoin's more anonymous. You don't really like it. So I see why, you know, there's some discrepancy. We see what happened to Luna. Pretty much all coins got scared. That's what it was. Shakeout, capitulation. Now we just haven't made any highs, right? We haven't really made any higher highs yet. We tried. We've made a lower low now. This is the retest of what? A lower high, right? We're gonna make a lower high and make a lower low. We can monitor the fib on this. Just pull it there. See if we hold support of this zone. Notice how well that zone is, even though it's just based off these 4 candles. And yeah, so that is ETH, Bitcoin, and let's just finish it with the DXY. DXY 3-hour. Ooh, not a bullish divergence because this price action low came lower than this low on the RSI, so it's correlated. But you see this low over here, it could be still a double bottom and showing divergence from here. So that's how you kind of pick up on the different ways of where you are in the trend. This is weekly? Oh no, this 3-hour. Oh, thank God. Okay, thank God. Yes, sir, ski. It still got some room to drop. I ain't gonna lie. It still got some room to drop. We did just hit a major support zone. We fell through. Look how when we fell through, you know, this fragile little support. Dixie's been on such a crazy bull run. We just had like, you know, tested it for the first hour, or you know, during this 3 hours, had a nice little fake out rejection of this area as resistance and fell through. Still haven't made a lower low to here, but all lower lows. Let's check the lower time frame. Little double bottom. Want to see if we hold oversold. Ooh, think I'm over time, but we might have started a little late, but we haven't had that much technicals today, so I just wanted to run through, you know, some of the major markets. When Bitcoin had that dip yesterday, this is why Bitcoin had the dip. Dixie held this zone yesterday. It was a tight hold. And then what did we do? We just hit a resistance point. I don't even know when I drew it, but look how lovely. Just the wick coming across. Lots of resistance, support. Lovely area. Bitcoin had a nice pump, but Dixie also had a nice dump. So that's how we correlate that. I feel like this dump actually kind of warrants a bigger Bitcoin pump, but I'm not going to be too judgmental. I just think Dixie at these levels, the upsides are making Bitcoin go down a lot harder. If we look at like this little pump here, it was just going up slow, but very strong and bearish. This is some experimental stuff right here. may be what we're looking for to see the final test of Bitcoin going to 22K, and us holding some resistance, right? And us holding support. I mean, we could still, come down here. If Dixie comes down here, we slip this trend line. This wedge is a little iffy for me. I have to find a better one. But if we slip down here to this zone, or like this low, then maybe we could hit 34K, I'd say, on Bitcoin, and that would be kind of like where I'd look for some more resistance around this 34K area, 33K, 40K area. And not a professional on it, but would be looking for some volume imbalance. I mean, it got cleared by this wick, but we could still see this as a strong resistance zone because of the volume imbalance right here. Don taught me about. Still would love to know more, but when the wicks are overlapping and it's continuation like this, tends to be a strong zone as we see resistance here. Cobras, another one. I think we're on 34. Somebody, we'll see. No, 24. Yes, and Crypto Don is here in the building, live and in effect.
That was a fire session, man. Thank you for that.
Thank you, guys.